Hey there, Flo, with another adventure for you. Gonna go on it together. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I just realized I could sort of play it up that you're actually here with me, because you basically kind of are. Like, you can kind of experience it in the same way that I did for the most part. Look in any direction. So I just started the same spot that I ended the last one on B1334, and even though I'm sort of on the same patch of boulders, I'm going to consider this a new ridge, because it sort of, I think it turned about 90 degrees, maybe even more than 90 degrees. So it feels like two separate ridges converging at a point. My camera is, I think it's overheating, possibly, so hopefully it continues to record. Here we have a giant boulder. Really feeling the need to be cautious today. So my camera's kind of acting up. I might be overworking it today. It wouldn't surprise me. I took a little break, took a drink, and gave my camera a few minutes off, and also changed the battery just in case that was it, but it kept shutting down. So let me see if there's a way to get up on this thing from some side. I think like right here is probably fine. I'm gonna leave my stick there. I'll probably end up forgetting it, but I don't think I can climb this with that in my hand. This is not ideal. I don't know if I want to climb it. I might have to wait till some other time if I ever come back here, or I'll circle around it and make sure there's not just an easy way to walk up. But that moss is very thick on there. It would fall off as soon as I step on it, so not particularly safe. So there's, right in front of me is the giant crater that I was around. I know I've said that enough times already, but just in case there's any doubt. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to do some observation of these things. I'm gonna call this B1335A, this general area, these three large rocks, generally that biggest one, but I'm not going to climb them because I can see very clearly that would not be a very safe thing to do. So just in case y'all were wondering if I have limits, I do generally know what I'm capable of, and there's certain things I choose not to do. Primarily just because of all that moss. That would be super slippery. I could do it, but it's not worth the risk. I have this habit or tendency to want to climb all the boulders, but really being near them is cool enough. I don't have to go to the top of every single one. Just something I've always enjoyed doing, climbing stuff. So this will be B1335B. Okay. So far my camera's staying with me, but I shouldn't have said that because now it'll probably shut off. Walked through a big old spider web. Ugh. Call this B1335C. I don't think I said C yet. So from end to end, I just looked at the map a while ago. This ridge of boulders behind the crater is about 600 feet from one side to the other, approximately. Whoa! Wow. I wasn't in danger of getting hurt, but I was really concentrating on not letting my camera hit a rock, because that was really close to happening. Whew, that was crazy. Okay. If I wasn't holding the stick and my hiking pole and this selfie stick, I would less likely have those kind of tumbles. Okay, let's call this B1335E. I might have skipped D, but just for safety's sake, call it E. Should be kind of a cool angle because it'll show backside of the crater a little bit and the two lengths of boulders that I'm going end to end. Yeah, hopefully there's not too much of this moss, because this is really going to slow me down. It would be a completely different experience doing this like in the middle of the summer where it's all dried out. Might not look as cool though, actually. Okay, over or under? I'm gonna go over. I almost always prefer going over logs when they're down like this. I do not enjoy bending down and getting my backpack stuck on the top or the bottom of the log. It's just not my favorite. Yeah, see how many of these rocks just move, so I really just have to select the sturdiest looking rocks. Hope for the best. Test them out a little bit. Alright, let's call... Oh, I've got some nice holes in there. Let's call this B1335G. I think I'm skipping some letters, but that's okay. See how far I can go down there. Need to be careful not to rely on my hiking pole too much too, because it can sometimes slip off of a rock, and if I'm putting my full weight on it, then I can go over with it once it slips off. This is very slow going though. Like, it's only 600 feet, which is like, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile or something, but I'm like going probably 1/8 of a mile per hour at this point, if that. So try to not stop too much. And I just forgot already what my letter was. That's an interesting shape. Alright, here's a nice easy area, relatively. Still have to be careful though. I think going to my right is going to be a little better. these rocks are moving now. This one moves. Huge thing. It doesn't seem like I should be able to tap it like that, but that's all it takes. Okay, we'll call this B1335H. A big cavity down there. I think I will skip that one, even though I want to go get a picture of it. Call this B1335I. Maybe I'll make up for it here. Whoa, that whole thing is gonna fall. Ooh. Kind of run out of things to say because I'm so concentrating on not falling over. Wow, look at that big field of green. Looks like succulents from here, but can't really make it out. Okay, so I'm not going to climb this one really. Close enough. It actually wouldn't be that hard to climb because it doesn't have moss on it, but good enough. Call it B1335J. Yeah, I'm glad my camera's going. I might have just needed a battery change. I'm not ready to lose my ability to record quite yet today. You ever have that thing like, I don't know what the thing is, measuring, or games you play with measuring things? Like on the third thing, I'll do the X, one thing. I'll wait to do activity or thing, whatever the thing is, after 6 things happen, or whatever the number is that you set a measuring landmark. And then you reach that number, it's like, oh no, 7, no 8, whatever, just change your number all the time. Well, there's also the thing that it's better not to look at your progress until you're very certain you're farther than you think you might be. For example, like if I were to say right now, oh, I think I'm halfway, but then I look at the map and it shows that I'm like only 20% of the way, and be like, oh. But if I go like super far to the point where I'm very certain that I'm over halfway, and then I look at it, there's some kind of mental game that you play where, oh phew, I didn't underestimate, kind of a thing. Just little games that I sometimes play when I'm on a hike and trying to get somewhere, but it feels like it's taking forever. Sort of, it's very similar to looking at a clock. Like, it's a classic movie example, like when you're in a classroom and waiting for the bell to ring at the end of period, and you just look at it and it's just like the second hand is barely ticking. Same kind of concept, I guess. This is cool. It's a nice angle of the rocks on both sides. Call this B1335K. I'll call this B1335, okay? Alright, you agree. Thank you. Alright. right. I don't know how close I am to the end of this. It almost looks like it's ending up there, but I don't think so. I think it's one of those tricks. Okay, B1335L. Something just came to mind when I made that smile for the camera. I felt like Steve Wallace, I think that's his name, looks on camera. He's actually one of my one of those YouTube channels that I watch fairly often. There's hardly any YouTube creators or just creators in general that I watch everything they produce all the time. I'm not that dedicated, but he's up there pretty high on my list of, like, when I see he has a new video, I usually watch all the way through. And see, I don't just talk about making long form content and struggling to get, have people watch it or whatever, which I don't really care. But I also, the reason I think long form content is okay and not just entirely unacceptable or unwatchable is because I watch quite a bit of long form content, like Steve Wallace, I think that's his name. Anyway, he does a lot of camping stuff. Shoot, I don't remember the number. Camping in stealth camping, that's what I was trying to think of. I think I'm going to call this B1335N because I don't remember if I used M or not yet. So to me this looks like I'm close to the end, but I bet it continues. But I'll look at the map in a minute. Normally I'd be tempted to walk down this, but it's so wet I would slip off there for sure. So, but interestingly enough, like, I really like Steve Wallace. One of the reasons I like his content is he seems like a very ordinary guy, like not a celebrity type at all. And maybe he's just a really good actor, but I don't think so. I think he's legitimately just a regular, everyday Canadian dude. And I really like that. It kind of reminds me of myself a little bit. Just kind of shy, kind of mellow. And I like to see someone of that personality type, I guess, succeed like he has. I don't live vicariously or think, oh, because he can do it, therefore I can do it too. But it gives me more hope that it's not all about like fancy, ultra beautiful people with massive outgoing personalities. I get the impression that Steve is an introvert like me, and like I said, mellow and not the most exciting voice or personality, but to me it's like just a reflection of the kind of people that I hang out with in real life, so I feel like I could be his friend, So when I watch his videos, it kind of feels like I'm out there with just a like-minded person or a friend or somebody I would enjoy doing activities with. Just seems like my kind of guy. And so it's encouraging to me to see that somebody is making it out there and not having to follow the same predictable pattern that usually you have to do to get success on YouTube or other platforms. It's very different, and I'm thankful that he's out there doing what he does. I was watching him when he went through the family crisis. Just that crushed me. Anytime I hear somebody going through loss of a family member or things of that nature, it just like hits me hard. Even though I don't know him personally, it's just like, oh my goodness, how can you even keep on going after that? But anyway, I have a lot of respect for him that he did. He's pulling through it. I'm sure he's struggling like everybody else, but anyway, just some thoughts about that. I may be completely wrong on his name, but I think that's his name. I generally think of him as the stealth camping guy. I actually like him so much that I kind of protest I don't watch any other stealth camping videos. Like, YouTube tries to suggest other similar channels to me, but I'm like, nope. Steve Wallace is my guy. Not gonna watch anybody else at this point. So yeah, I just like his personality and the way he presents his humble content. It's kind of my style. I like it. Okay, let's see. Anyway, that's just a shout out to one of my fellow creators. I'm nowhere near on his level and he's not aware of my existence, but just wanted to shout him out anyway. If he ever sees this, just knows that I let him know that I appreciate him. Okay, let's call this B1335. Yeah, I don't have any illusions. I call it an illusion of grandeur because that's just the expression I've always heard for this scenario. But I don't have any thoughts or beliefs that I'll become a great, successful content creator. I've never thought that was going to happen. So I do this just because I enjoy it, and I almost don't think I could handle that kind of attention. Well, I'm pretty sure I couldn't. I tend to get a lot of anxiety when I have too many comments or people talking. I really enjoy small groups of like 5 or 10, if the people visit my live streams like I used to do. That was pretty comfortable, but too much more than that and I'm kind of overwhelmed. I don't know how to handle that many voices or people or thoughts. Okay, so this looks like the end. I'm going to confirm on my map, but this definitely looks like the end of the boulders. I don't see any continuation except I guess there's some up there. Let me check. I think this is B1335P. I don't think I used that letter yet. Let me check the length of these boulders, see if it keeps going. I'm probably like halfway and I'll be like, oh, halfway. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it takes kind of a turn and I took that turn without knowing it. It also cuts down that way back there somewhere, I think. I don't know where, but it has 2 spurs to it. But I'm basically at the end. So yeah, this is it. So right around here somewhere is another one of those arcing craters that I'm going to explore. So that's going to be my next adventure. So thanks for joining me on this one and listening to all my babbling. Not that anybody made it this far. If anybody ever makes it through one of my videos from starting to end, let me know. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like to write comments, but I don't think anybody watches the full length because I do have stats on YouTube and stuff, and pretty sure no one. I think I usually get about 1 or 2 minutes average, something like that. So, but that's okay. Anyway, I will catch you all later. Thanks for joining me.